Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to the Wisco series. Hope you're all doing awesome. Before we jump into the action, I just wanted to give you a quick heads up about some cool map updates. We've got provinces now, which is a total game changer, and we've also got a new way to see what's been discovered. Check it out, the waters that our nations have explored are now a light blue, while the rest is the usual dark blue. It's the same deal with the land, what's been discovered is in white, and the undiscovered stuff is still that spooky gray. That's it for the updates. Apart from that, kick back and enjoy the video. Let's go! The crimson and gold of the seafarers. The flag is composed of a deep crimson field, which symbolizes two key elements of Akhamar's past. The first is the fertile soil of the Red Sea coast, where the nation was founded. The second is the valor and sacrifice of the Akhamaran people, particularly during the early conflicts with the Sunstone Republic and the Verdant hegemony. The crimson represents the blood spilled in defense of their homeland and their peaceful way of life, a reminder that peace was not always easily won. Across the center of the flag is a horizontal band of goldenrod yellow. This color represents the prosperity and wealth that Akhamar has built, not through conquest, but through trade and hard work. It also symbolizes the golden light of the desert sun, a constant presence that shaped the Akhamaran spirit. This band is a visual representation of their coastal trade routes and the wealth that flows from their mastery of the seas. The Falcon of Akhamar. The most prominent feature of the flag is the stylized, dark gray silhouette of a soaring falcon. The falcon holds immense significance for the Akhamaran people, who have a deep reverence for nature and a history of living in harmony with it. Freedom and strength, the falcon symbolizes the nation's freedom and its soaring spirit. It represents Akhamar's strength in the face of adversity, as well as its ability to rise above challenges. The falcon's wings are spread wide, capturing it in mid-flight, a powerful image of a nation that is always moving forward. Vision for the future, the falcon's keen eyesight is a metaphor for Akhamar's foresight and wisdom. It represents the nation's ability to see beyond the immediate horizon and plan for a prosperous future. It's a reminder that their vision has always been to build a strong, sustainable society, not one built on short-term gains. In its entirety, the flag tells the story of a nation born from the crimson soil of the coast, a people who built their prosperity from the golden sun, and a civilization whose spirit, like the falcon, soars towards a horizon of freedom and a peaceful future. The two lands, black and white. The flag is divided vertically into two equal halves, one black, one white. This bisection is the most fundamental symbol of their nation, representing the two lands from which they derive their name. The black land, left side, this represents the fertile, black soil of the Nile River Valley, the source of all life and prosperity for the dynastic people. The color black symbolizes the rich silt left behind by the annual floods, the foundation of their agricultural wealth and the very heart of their civilization. It is the land of life, abundance, and order. The white land, right side, this side represents the vast, arid desert, the red land, that surrounds the Nile Valley. The white symbolizes the pure, unyielding sand and the spiritual realm beyond the world of the living. While seemingly desolate, it is the land from which their divine rulers descended and where their eternal monuments are built. It is the land of death, spirituality, and eternity. The bisection itself represents the unification of these two opposing but essential elements under a single, divine ruler. The sacred emblems, cobra and vulture. Overlapping the black and white halves are two powerful golden emblems, facing each other in a sacred union. These are the twin deities that represent the two halves of the unified kingdom. The vulture, on the white side, the vulture is the ancient protector of the white land. It symbolizes the spiritual power of the dynastic rulers and their connection to the celestial realm. It is a symbol of protection, motherhood, and the eternal life that awaits the faithful in the hereafter. The cobra, on the black side, the cobra, specifically the cobra with a rearing hood, is the fierce protector of the black land. It symbolizes the pharaoh's power to rule over the living, protect his people from invaders, and defend the fertile lands of the Nile. It represents strength, authority, and divine kingship. The two symbols facing each other on the flag represent the divine union of the two halves of the kingdom. They are eternally vigilant, protecting the life-giving Nile and the eternal resting places of the pharaohs. The gold color of the emblems represents the wealth of the dynasty and the divinity of the ruling family, who are believed to be the chosen rulers of both the land of the living and the land of the dead. The flag as a whole is a testament to the dynastic people's belief that their ruler is the embodiment of both the fertile land and the spiritual world, and that their nation is a single, divine entity created by the will of the gods to bring order to the chaos of the world. As Akhamar and the dynasty of the two lands continue to expand, their rivalry intensifies, and their control over vital trade routes grows. Their expansion now extends not only toward the Mediterranean but also far to the south, opening up new frontiers and new conflicts. The southern expansion, the Red Sea and the Nile. Both nations, having secured the north, now turn their attention to the south. Akhamar's southern Red Sea expansion, Akhamar, driven by its seafaring nature and the need to find new resources and trade partners, expands its influence down the southern Red Sea coast. Their ships establish new trading posts and small colonies, bringing them into contact with new civilizations and exotic goods. They discover valuable resources like frankincense and myrrh and establish a monopoly on the southern maritime trade. Their expansion is a chain of new ports, securing their dominance over the entire Red Sea. The dynasty's southern Nile expansion. The dynasty of the two lands, ever focused on the river, expands south along the Nile. This is a methodical, land-based expansion, with engineers extending their elaborate irrigation systems and soldiers establishing garrisons. They bring more fertile land under the pharaoh's control and gain access to new resources like gold and ivory. This expansion is driven by a desire for more agricultural land and the immense wealth of the southern territories, solidifying the pharaoh's status as a divine ruler over the entire length of the river. The fragile peace has been shattered. The ambition of Akhamar, fueled by its newfound strength and the lure of the Mediterranean, has finally boiled over, leading to the First Great Canal War. Akhamar's declaration of war. The war begins not with a diplomatic incident, but with a daring and decisive military action. Akhamar, long wary of the Tyrians' naval supremacy in the Mediterranean, decides to strike first. They declare war on the Tyrians with a bold objective: to seize control of the valuable coastal provinces and strategic cities surrounding the Suez Canal, thereby solidifying their control of the land bridge of power. Akhamar's leaders believe that by controlling both sides of the canal, they can secure their future and eliminate their primary economic rival. The Coastal Blitz. Akhamar's military strategy is swift and surprising. They launch a multi-pronged assault, leveraging their mastery of both land and sea. Naval assault. Akhamar's newly built war galleys, heavier and more armored than their traditional trade ships, launch a series of coordinated attacks on Tyrian port cities on the Mediterranean side of the canal. The Akhamarans, familiar with the treacherous currents and shallows, are able to outmaneuver the more powerful but less agile Tyrian fleets, effectively blockading key ports. The land invasion, at the same time, a disciplined and well-supplied Akhamaran army, secretly trained with the help of some borrowed dynastic techniques, marches west. They quickly captured two of the Tyrians' coastal provinces, using the land for strategic outposts and supply depots. The Tyrians, who had relied more on their naval power, were unprepared for such a direct land-based assault. The First Great Canal War has concluded, but not with the decisive victory Akhamar might have hoped for. Instead, a strategic peace deal has been brokered, solidifying Akhamar's gains while leaving the Tyrians weakened but not destroyed. The Treaty of Tarsus, a strategic peace. Facing a potential long and costly war, the leaders of Akhamar and the Tyrians agree to a peace treaty, mediated by other Mediterranean powers wary of a destabilizing conflict. The treaty, fittingly named after the city at the heart of the war, formalizes Akhamar's significant gains. For provinces acquired, Akhamar officially annexes the 4 coastal provinces it conquered during the war. These provinces are strategically vital, giving Akhamar complete control over the northern approach to the Suez Isthmus. The land provides new farmlands, small mineral deposits, and most importantly, a buffer zone to protect their core territories. Shrinking of a city-province. The city of Tarsus itself, though not fully annexed, is significantly diminished in size. Akhamar takes control of its surrounding lands and key port facilities, effectively reducing the Tyrian city's provincial territory and its economic power. Tarsus, once a bustling hub of Tyrian trade, is now a shadow of its former self, a painful reminder of their defeat. Akhamar also gains a permanent military presence within the city to ensure peace and control trade. The victory and expansion of Akhamar, far from bringing stability, has sown the seeds of its own downfall. The overstretched empire now faces a crisis from within. The Southern Rebellion, the birth of Asmaran. While Akhamar's attention was focused on the Suez Canal and the war against the Tyrians, discontent was brewing in its southern provinces. These three provinces, located furthest from the capital and the Suez region, felt ignored and neglected. Their people, primarily fishermen and farmers, saw the war as a distant conflict that brought them only hardship, higher taxes, conscription, and the disruption of their local trade routes. The final straw was the news of Akhamar's military expansion and the increasing centralization of power in the north. Led by a charismatic local leader, the three provinces declare their independence from Akhamar. Their declaration is not one of conquest but of secession, a demand for a return to a simpler, more localized way of life. They successfully repel the initial, small-scale military response from Akhamar, which is still recovering from the war with the Tyrians. The city that defied an empire. The new nation is named Asmaran, after its most prominent city, Asmara. Asmara, a bustling port city, becomes the capital of this new, independent state. The city had a long history of autonomy and local governance, and its people were the most vocal in their opposition to the Canal War. By naming the new nation after the city, the people of Asmaran are not just breaking away, they are redefining their identity, choosing a local, self-sufficient path over the grand, but costly, ambitions of the Akhamaran Empire. The strategic maneuvering of the Tyrians in the wake of the Asmaran rebellion is a brilliant and logical move, perfectly in character for a nation built on trade and political cunning. The Tyrian gamble, a new alliance is forged. The news of the Asmaran rebellion reaches the Tyrians not as a surprise, but as a long-awaited opportunity. Their leaders, humiliated by the Treaty of Tarsus and desperate to regain their lost influence, see the new nation of Asmaran as the perfect tool to undermine Akhamar and restore the regional balance of power. Instead of gloating, the Tyrians send a delegation to the newly formed nation of Asmaran. The delegation arrives not with an ultimatum or a threat, but with an offer of friendship and a strategic alliance. The Tyrians offer Asmaran recognition and diplomatic support. The Tyrians officially recognize Asmaran's independence and use their considerable diplomatic influence in the Mediterranean to encourage other nations to do the same. This gives the nascent nation the legitimacy it desperately needs to survive. Military and naval aid, the Tyrians, still smarting from their defeat, offer to sell Asmaran their best ships, military technology, and even provide military advisors. They see this not as an act of charity, but as an investment in a new ally that can weaken their greatest rival. Trade agreements, the Tyrians open their vast trade network to Asmaran, offering them favorable terms and providing them with a much-needed economic lifeline. This helps Asmaran establish a strong, independent economy and reduces its reliance on trade with Akhamar. A new axis of power, the Asmaran-Tyrian alliance. The alliance between Asmaran and the Tyrians is an instant success. The two nations, though geographically distant, find common ground in their shared resentment of Akhamar's growing dominance. The alliance is not a secret, it is a clear message to Akhamar that its expansionist ambitions will not go unchecked. The consequences of this new alliance are immediate and far-reaching. Akhamar's power is checked. Akhamar, now facing a potential war on two fronts, is forced to divert troops and resources to its southern border. Its leaders must now consider the possibility of a two-front conflict, should the Tyrians ever decide to attack the north while Asmaran attacks the south. A new geopolitical map, the world of Civilisation is no longer defined by a simple north-south divide. It is now a complex web of shifting alliances and rivalries. The Tyrians have successfully used soft power and diplomacy to regain a foothold in the region, proving that military might is not the only path to power. The dynasty's position, the dynasty of the two lands, ever cautious, watches this new alliance with great interest. They are now in a prime position to play both sides, potentially offering their grain and resources to either Akhamar or the Tyrian-Asmaran alliance, thereby increasing their own influence and wealth. The rebellion in the south, supported by a powerful Mediterranean rival, has fundamentally altered the balance of power. The era of simple expansion is over. The era of complex political and military maneuvering has just begun. Hey, what's up and welcome back to the Wisco series. I'm so glad you're here for episode 2. It's getting really exciting now, and honestly, I have a feeling this could be the best Wisco series ever. I know, it can get a little confusing sometimes with all the nations, alliances, and shifting borders. If you ever feel lost, don't worry. I totally get it. Sometimes even I have to rewatch to make sure I've got everything straight. Remember, we're just at the very beginning of this new history, and things are going to get even wilder a few hundred years down the line. I'll be doing my best to improve the videos and make them even easier to follow along, so stick with me. For now, that's a wrap on episode 2. Make sure to drop your ideas in the comments for the future. Your feedback helps shape this world. And hey, if you liked the video, smash that like button. Subscribing is totally up to you, but it would be awesome if you joined the community. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.